To start, hello students, welcome back to engineering mathematics. I hope you're fine. Today we are going to start a reasoning series on this channel, and we're going to start distance and direction, okay, and or direction and distance. So this topic is mainly asked in SSC, in math, okay, all your competitive examinations, and also when the company visits your college. If you are an engineering student, they asked you in the aptitude test which they conduct. So this is very important for engineering students as well as non-engineering students. So direction and distance basically means direction, you know, north, east, west, south. These are the main directions. We will discuss them later. And distance means, distance here means displacement. Okay, so distance means shortest distance between 2 points. Okay, so whenever there is given find the distance between 2 points, you have to meet or you have to join those 2 points with a straight line, and you have to find the distance between them. So this is the concept. So distance here means displacement. Okay, so this is not physics, so they have kept it general as distance, but in actual meaning they are asking about the displacement or the shortest distance between the 2 points. Coming back to the point, so in direction and distance we will be discussing mainly 3 types of questions. First is finding the direction only. So in these type of questions, you will only be given that you have to find the directions only. Okay, in which direction? Suppose there's an example. Suppose Mohan is moving from point A to point B, then he turns left, then he turns right, and if he had started from east and moved towards west, in which direction is he facing now? So these are the questions. So they didn't ask you about distance. They asked you about the direction, in the direction that Mohan is facing at the end. So these are called finding the directions only. Okay, now there is second type of question, which is finding the distance only. Now if they asked you that find the distance between Mohan's original position to the Mohan's starting position, or find the distance between, or how far Mohan is from its initial position. Okay, so in those questions you have to find the distance between Mohan and its initial position. Okay, so these are the 2 types of questions, and in the third type of question they'll be asking you distance as well as direction. So they'll be asking you like find the distance and also find the direction Mohan is right now facing. So these are the type of questions mainly asked by the examiner in these type of examinations related to direction and distance. Now the most important thing that I'm going to tell you is that we are going to solve typical questions in this series. Okay, so I'll be assuming that you know the basics. I'll be telling you the basics as well, but I'll be focusing more on typical questions that you won't find on internet, on anywhere on internet. And as well as I have kept a fact in my mind that whenever the examiner asks you questions about these distance and direction, he asks you or she asks you about one of the most typical questions he or she will pick up. Okay, so the questions that you'll be solving in the books, those questions will never come. Okay, let's be very much frank or sincere. So those questions, if you see the SSC paper or math paper or any other competitive exam level paper, if we compare the questions of that paper with the questions we read in our books, so you'll find a lot of difference. Okay, but let me tell you one thing, that those questions are not harder than the questions that are in the books. Okay, so what's the point that if they are not harder, so what's the point actually? What are they actually trying to see? They are trying to see the reasoning power, that if someone asks you a question which is totally different from whatever you have seen till now, so in those situations how would you answer? So those questions are twisted. Okay, so the example that I mentioned previously was about Mohan. So they'll be starting, like they'll be having a point. They'll be telling you that the initial point and the final point are in the opposite direction, and Mohan moves towards south. Okay, now in which direction Mohan will be facing after making a turn left, then right, then left. It makes the same sense as we have read, but the question, the type of question, the presentation of the question is very much different, which is the main thing about these type of questions as well as about these type of concepts. Okay, so the main thing is that the presentation of the questions is very much different as you see in books. That's why majority of the students fail in the examination. I'm not telling that those students cannot do. They are very much intelligent students. Everyone has intelligent IQ. I think more than average, more than they are good at solving these type of questions. But whenever it comes to presentation, they lag. Okay, so you have to keep in mind that you have to solve the questions which are very much typical. So this series focuses mainly on the questions which are very much typical, and those questions I will show you. I will actually solve all the questions which are asked in SSC, UPSC, and there are also some state level examinations in which there is a paper called CSAT. Okay, so there also you'll find some of the questions which are very typical. They are very easy, but their presentation is little bit hard to comprehend. So you have to practice those type of questions, so that whenever you see those questions in examination, you will solve them with ease. Okay, so this is the main motive. You'll find a lot of content about engineering about reasoning on the internet. You can check that as well, but I'm not going to discuss the basics about these things. We are going to actually discuss the papers that are asked in SSC, and with that I'll be clearing all your doubts as well as your basics if you have any problem in the basics. So we'll be covering that as well. So that's the main focus of this series. I hope you got it. So first of all, we'll try to learn finding the direction only type of questions. So that's why I wrote one, finding the directions only. Before finding the direction, solving the questions which are like finding the direction only, or finding the distance only, or finding the above distance and direction, I'll be telling you some of the basic concepts. So I'll be telling you the directions. So this is a vertical line. Okay, this is a horizontal line. They intersect each other. Okay, and these are the directions. The hands, this thing, this hand, and this hand. So this hand moves forward, this hand moves in the opposite direction. Similarly, this hand moves to the right of me, and this hand in the opposite direction. So this direction, whenever I'm writing in the examination, my face is facing towards this direction. I'm writing on the paper, as well as you, whenever you solve these type of questions, you are writing on the paper, right? So you're solving them with this pattern only. Okay, so this direction is north, this is north. Okay, upper. Now the direction that's opposite to the north is south. Okay, so this is south. Got it? This direction, this is east. The direction that's opposite to east is west. So this is the snapshot. Take the snapshot, remember this pattern. So this is north, south, east, west. This will never change. You go anywhere, you go to an examination, you go you solve these questions on the board, you solve these questions on the table. Okay, and you won't find any problem if you memorize this pattern. This is north, this is south, this is east, and this is west. So this map should be in your mind. Okay, so these are called the primary directions. Okay, these are called primary directions. So why these are primary? Because basic directions are these. You all know that there is north, there is west, there is south, and there is east. Okay, and all the points, all the persons, or anything, any house, any person lie between north, east, south, and west. Okay, so that's why these are called primary directions. Now there is another type of direction which is called the cardinal direction. This is called the cardinal direction. Now what are the cardinal directions? What do you mean by cardinal direction? The direction that are in between these directions, like this, in between these directions. Okay, like this. Okay, like this and like this. Okay, so these are called cardinal directions. Okay, and one more point, north and east, they have a 90-degree angle between them. How much? 90 degree. We have a 90-degree angle between east and south, and we have a 90-degree angle between south and west, and similarly we have a 90-degree angle between west and north. Okay, now coming back to the cardinal directions, these are called cardinal directions. Okay, why these are called cardinal directions? Because these are not primary. Okay, now what do you mean by cardinal directions? So I told you that you can find any point or any house that's in the world with the help of these primary directions. But what if there's a house that's in between north and east? So if somebody tells you this, you can you tell me the location, or in which direction this house is right now, or in which direction a person who lives there is facing? So you cannot tell precisely. You can tell it's between north and east. Okay, so that's a precise direction, that's called northeast. So the distance that lies between north direction as well as and east direction is called northeast. So this is northeast, and this also extends. Okay, so this is called northeast. So what's northeast? It's the direction between north and east. Okay, now the whole direction, this thing, let me tell you, this thing is whole northeast, like this. Okay, this is whole northeast. This is north. Okay, this is north, 90 degree, 1 degree. You go 1 degree more than this, here you come like this here, so this is northeast. Or this is east, you go 1 degree less, this is northeast. So this is northeast. Similarly, this direction, you can tell me now easily, what's this called? This area, this is called southeast. Southeast, because it is between south and east. Okay, now what's this called? This is called southwest, because it's between south and west. Now southeast and southwest, southwest is any point between west and south. It can be here, very close to west is still southwest. It can be here, very far from west and very close to south, still it's southwest direction. Okay, so now coming back, you would tell me this direction, cardinal direction, this one, this is called northwest. This is called northwest. So this point here, I can tell this lies in northwest. This point very close to north, still it lies between north and west. So any point here from this direction to this direction to the west, this is northwest. Okay, so these are the concepts. So now we'll learn primary directions: north, east, north, south, east and west. Okay, and the cardinal directions are, so these are, and let me tell you one thing, that there's a 90-degree angle between each primary direction. So north and east, north and south, see, north and east have 90-degree angle between them. Okay, so cardinal directions are northeast, then there is southeast, then there is southwest, then there is northwest. Okay, and what's the degree between east and northeast? What's the degree between these two? So it's 45. Why? Because listen, it can be 45, it can be it can be, I told you that it can be very close to 90. 89 is still northeast. Okay, and more than, let me tell you, 1 degree is also northeast. Okay, so but if we see the true, if we see northeast divides this cardinal direction, true northeast direction, this divides this cardinal direction into 45 degrees, right? Because see, this is angle, this is 90 degree. Now if a line passes through this, so this is 45, this is 45, right? So you can prove it mathematically as well. So this is the concept of finding the direction only. Okay, now we'll solve one of the questions about this. So the question is here that Vandana is going towards northwest. Okay, she is going, towards northwards. Okay, is going northwards. Okay, she turns right, moves some distance and again turns to her right. Okay, after moving some distance, she turns to her left, goes forward and again turns to her left. In which direction Vandana is now going? So basically we have options here: north, southwest, south and west. Okay, so basically what we have to find in which direction. Okay, in which direction is Vandana now going? So we have to find direction, that I told you here. So finding the direction only. So whenever they ask you questions, you have to simply see what the examiner is asking. So that's written in the end. Typically, in which direction Vandana is now facing, we have to find it. Or we have to, in which direction Vandana is now going. So we have to find the direction in which Vandana is finally going after moving left, right. So that's written in this question. But we have to find the direction only. Okay, so you no need to go for the distance, just go for the direction. Now we'll solve it by the main method, and after that I will tell you the trick how to solve this question. So let's make a map. So first of all, always make a map, always north, east, west, south. I told you like this. Okay, this is which direction? North. This is south, this is east. Okay, and this is west. Got it? So Vandana is going northwards, so she is moving from this point here, this point, and she is moving northwards. Northwards means towards the north. Suppose she is here, so it's not given how many kilometers has she done. So suppose we will assume that she is here, but she is facing towards north right now, right? Because she is moving towards northwards. Then he says she turns right. So if she is facing towards the north, what's the right? So when she faces towards right, she is looking towards this direction, right? This, right? So she moves north, then she is facing towards right. Okay, she faced towards right. Good. Moves some distance and again turns to her right. So she moves some distance. It's not given how much, so we will just write she moves some distance. Okay, suppose she moved up to here. Her face is still facing towards this direction, and again turns to her right. Okay, she again turns to her. She makes another right turn. Okay, now she is facing towards this direction. Now she makes a right turn, so that means she will be facing towards this direction, like this, right? So when she is facing towards this direction, then what he says, after moving some distance, okay, again turns right. Okay, moves some distance and again turns to her right. Okay, Vandana is going northwards, she turns to her right and moves some distance and again turns to her right. After moving some distance, so she again moved some distance, she turns to her left, then she turns to her left. What is the left of Vandana? See, whenever you are solving these questions, your right is this direction, right, and your left is this direction. But Vandana's directions are totally different, totally opposite actually, because she is facing in the opposite direction as you are facing. You are facing towards this direction, but see, Vandana is facing towards this direction, like this. So your right is this, your left is this, but Vandana's left is this and her right is this. So this is the main concept. So how you are going to solve these questions? So you just imagine yourself in place of Vandana, okay? Just keep yourself here and face in your mind towards which direction? Towards the south, towards this. Then you will clearly find which is your left and which is your right. Okay, so then after that she moves some distance and turns to her left. Then she turns to her left. So what is the left of Vandana? That's right of yours. So she turns like this, in this direction. Good. So when she turns towards her left, okay, goes forward, she goes more forward like this, okay, and again turns to her left. She again turns to her left. So right now Vandana is facing towards this direction, her left is this, her right is this. So the examiner tells goes forward and again turns to her left. She turns to her left, so she turns to her this direction, right? Her left is this. In which direction is Vandana facing? So at this point, you don't have to find anything, okay? You don't have to find anything here. You just have to see at this point which direction is Vandana facing now, okay? So you know that her face is facing towards this direction, like this, you know, this direction. So at this point you have to tell Vandana is facing towards which direction. So what you do is you just assume this point at where she is standing as your center point. So make it your center point. Then we will draw all the 3 or the 4 main directions. So this is what? This is east, this is west, this is north, and this is south. So now he tells us in which direction Vandana is now going. So Vandana is going in which direction? See, clearly it shows that she is going towards the north direction, right? So I will write north. So north is the correct option. So these type of questions can be solved by this method. And the trick for this question is, I will tell you, but before that let us understand this again. See, Vandana is facing towards which direction? Her face is towards this direction, okay? So you have to find in which direction. You don't know at this point, you didn't know that which direction Vandana is facing. So how would you know? You just put this point as your center point, then you make distance these directions. So this is east, this is west, this is north, this is south. Vandana is here. So in which direction she is facing? She is facing towards the north direction, right? So north is correct. So now what's the trick for these type of questions? The trick for these type of questions is, see, whenever there is an examination, you are given this type of question. So in which direction Vandana is now going? So they asked you that in which direction she is going. In which direction she is going. So there is only given that you have to find the direction. So in these type of questions, you just have to do one thing, that Vandana is going northwards, okay? She is going northwards. So you write north here. Then she turns right. So I will write right. Moves some distance and again turns her to her right. So again to her right. After that, she is moving some distance. She turns to her left, then she turns to her left, goes forward and again turns to her left, okay? She again turns to her left. Now in which direction is Vandana now going? See, she is basically moving towards north, so you have to keep it as such. Now left, right, you can cancel with each other, okay? So right will get cancelled with left, right will get cancelled with left. So you are just having northwards now. So Vandana is facing northwards. You don't have to make this chart, or it was just for this explanation. But in the examination, you'll be focusing more on this thing, and you'll be making this chart like this. Like Vandana is going towards north direction. Okay, she's going towards north. Then a right turn. Then she makes another right turn. Then she makes another left turn. Then she makes another left turn. Okay, so north you have to keep it as such. This right will get cancelled with one of the left. This right will get cancelled with one of the left. So what's remaining? North. So she is facing towards the north direction. So this is the answer of this question. So this question you will solve by this trick in few steps, in few very easy steps. So and your lot of time will get solved, will get saved. Okay. So in the next chapter we'll be discussing some typical questions. This was just an introduction, and from now onwards we'll be discussing some important questions about this. I hope you understood all the things. If you have any doubts, you can mail me, as well as write in the comments. If you find this useful, please share it with your friends and also like the video. Thank you.